mills. And one of the things that we ought to know about industrialization is almost every industrial country begins with textile factories. And the labor in those textile factories is most often women and children at the beginning of the process. So I like to say that industrialization occurs on the backs of women, and generally, or the same women who are performing cottage labor, that is, doing work for pay and giving it out to the middlemen or the factors, are moved into factories as those tasks diminish when the beginning of factories consolidates them under one roof. There's much less given out labor, so young women, instead of working in their own homes, migrate to whatever the nearest small town or mill town is. But it's generally women who do the unskilled work in cotton factories, and perhaps ironically, that's true in China, it's true in Japan, it's true in Britain, it's true in the new United States. So it's important to recognize that it's women's lives, men's and women's lives, change with industry.
When I suppose I was about 10.
Yes.
There was a cartoon in Punch of the old-fashioned bus with the seats going parallel with the bus. And all the men going like this.
Yes. What were they looking for?
There was a woman crossing the road and holding her dress up and showing her ankle to there.
Tut. Florence?
Yes.
Tell me...
Ms. Roosevelt, during the 12 years that you spent in the White House, you did a great many things that were not expected of presidents' wives. You read, you traveled a great deal, you lectured, you made speeches, and you were criticized, you were harshly criticized. Do you think that some of this criticism was due to the fact that you were the wife of a president who was always a controversial figure, or was it due to the fact that you were doing things that no First Lady had ever done before?
Well, I think it was largely because I was doing things that had not been done before. I think my husband was really very long-suffering and very good because he never tried to keep me to the pattern. It's obvious that a First Lady must do her own social life in the White House. That's part of the obligation of being there. And of course, I had no young children at home anymore. And my husband knew that perhaps if I didn't do something, it would be rather a difficult life. And so he made no objections when I was off at lecture trips, and I used to go for 3 weeks every spring and 3 weeks every autumn, and it gave me the opportunity to see what the results were of things that were being done by the government. And while he had all the...
With all your traveling from town to town and nightclub to nightclub, Billie, have you ever thought of settling down to, well, a cozy home, cooking, sewing, dusting?
I settle down every chance I get. Instead of getting into a hotel room, when we get to a town, I see if we can get a kitchenette so I can wash my husband's shirts and cook.
Well, your husband's right here in the dressing room with us, Mr. Louis McKay.
Mr. McKay, you must be a very talented man to have won the heart of this lovely lady. Tell us something about how you two work together.
Well, we have something like a...
And put the pattern straight, I'm outraged. I'm outraged about many things that I've read about myself, that people have said. They've affected me deeply. Now I'm going to talk back. I'm going to talk in my own words and tell the truth, so here goes. And if I sound like the lady does protest too much, don't get the idea that by telling my story. And I have a right to. Don't think that comes from anything but having been treated and